Good evening, happy Saturday. Greetings, Joe. Palon, always good to see you. Steve, how are you tonight? Greg, good to see you. Victoria, good to see you as well. Tish, City Girl, how you doing? Chris 0426 is also in the house, and appreciate you guys being here. How's everybody doing tonight? I promised everybody that we're going to cover what's going on right now with Dr. Fauci. But, it's 6 months. 6 months of Nancy Guthrie. And all day, each day that goes by, I'm saying to myself, like a lot of you, is what the hell happened? Was this a cover-up? 6 months. Why now that Sheriff Chris NANOS, is now coming out today, all this week on different interviews. Most recently, he had one on NBC. Now, I don't think he chews all one day. We talked about this yesterday, but cover up in the chat, yes or no. Hey, Heavy Hook, good to see you, my friend. First of all, I hope you're feeling good. Good to see you. 6 months. 6 months. And, is this a perfect crime? We talked about this with other networks and YouTube channels. And we're gonna dive into something different today, right? We're gonna go over the perfect cover-up, and you can't help but think that the authorities released the ransom notes, and as far as these ransom notes go, I'm just gonna go right to it right off the bat, and then I'm gonna welcome in some others that are coming in and out here. If the FBI really thought that these ransom notes were real. I'm talking about 1 and 2. We know about the other one. I'm talking about the real. Thank you so much for the UNC alert. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, guys. These gifts and donations and memberships certainly helps out the channel for a great cause. We're able to help out. Record heat in Las Vegas today, 117 degrees. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me. Appreciate it so very much. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. But if the FBI really thought they were right, they would have. If they really thought, Heavy Hook, thank you so much. Thank you. That this was serious and tracked down the IP guys, because I had to really calm down and I'm thinking to myself, they would have told Savannah to come up with the money. TMZ, they have the money, they would have paid, right? So think about it. They really thought the language, because I personally think this was an AI generated. Anybody else think that before we move on? Was these ransom notes 1 and 2 AI ransom note? Now, I'm not talking about Derek Galata, whatever the hell his name is. And we're going to talk about that later on at the bottom part of the hour. Leisha, thank you so much for being here. But I'm just saying, think about it. So sometimes we go so far out the box. I mean, I'm not a detective. If there's anybody a detective in here, or FBI or law enforcement we haven't heard in a while from you, please call in a little bit. We have the number pinned here. All we can assume on is what we know to this point, 6 months. Why Nancy? Where Nancy? Were these ransom notes real? No. This was the way the language is. Let me ask you guys this. And by the way, if it's your first time here, I'm Sal Capano. Welcome to the show. We greatly appreciate it. Sit back and maybe get some popcorn, and we're going to jump in, because how many people in here, if you were a bad guy or a bad woman, would say the word buried in nature? Simply, probably 1%. Buried in nature is a GPT, an AI, and it's misspelling. By the way, I don't know if you guys seen Chris McDonough on the interview room. He was on News Nation earlier today. I don't know when that was, but it was also misspelled. And I know I'm going to disagree with Chris McDonough with all due respect, because he says, and I quote, he thought that the writer was in a rush, because we get sloppy when we write. I know I do. I get so sloppy. I misspell the first word, first sentence all the way to the end, because I'm horrible. But I disagree with him. I personally think that the misspelled words at the end, I forget what word, but we'll listen in a little bit, was purposely done. Ladies and gentlemen, This was a huge cover-up and to throw us all off. Just like we don't even know 100%, ladies and gentlemen, that the man at the porch and that other video of the man still, and there's no video of that, we don't really know the exact date. We heard 2 weeks. We heard the night before. We just don't know. Now, I personally think Nanos made a big mistake as far as one big thing. We talked about it on this channel many times. There should have been a crime scene. Why wasn't that Nancy Guthrie's house a crime scene from day one? Why wasn't it all yellow taped out like we see on multiple crimes around the world? There was a shooting today. Unfortunately, the world we live in, 95% of the time, we see a crime scene. There's no YouTubers in front. There's no News Nation, Fox, or anybody else. We talked about them many times. So that there is an obvious, huge mistake. But I'm starting to wonder now if this was just a perfect cover-up, because we got to ask ourselves this, guys. There's no leads. And we're hearing the words from Chris NANOS that the DNA is all over the world. So in other words, you want us, the public, the family, to believe that the DNA is broken up and sent different locations? What doesn't make sense to me doesn't make sense to you. What happened to one lab, and why would it take so long? Why aren't they questioning? Why isn't his chief of staff and his office repeatedly calling up these labs? Because, again, folks, this could be a huge cover-up. Now, the question is, well, Sal, who's covering up what? Well, that's up to you guys to decide tonight. So once again, let me welcome in. We got Saint M. Appreciate it. Pat's in the house. Said hello to Heavy. Leon, how are you, Leon? How good to see you. Victor, I got my water here. I'm all set, ready to go. We're going to a good one tonight. We're going to listen to a couple videos, guys. I like to keep them short. We're going to listen to the latest one. It's a short one from Fox, okay? This was Fox, and he had a panel today, and we're going to hear a couple minutes of that. And then we're going to discuss that, and then we're going to go back to the whole interview that Nanos had on NBC. I said CBS. I was incorrect, NBC. All right, so here we go. Let's turn the camera. Barbed Wire, thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'll make sure the volume's up nice and loud.
As tonight marks 6 months since the disappearance of her mother, Nancy, saying in a brand new post on Instagram that somebody out there has to know something. Now, that message comes after Pima County released the alleged ransom notes, with the first one asking for $4 million in Bitcoin, while a follow-up note claimed that Nancy had died. The Pima County Sheriff says releasing those notes may ultimately help the investigation.
Investigators felt like there's a number of pieces of information in these notes that it just might jar someone to say, I've heard that. We hope that by releasing the actual note, we'll get some response from the community. Someone knows who this person is. Someone knows something. We want that person to call us.
Showing us now the great Donna Latuno, Fox News legal.
Listen to this lady here, guys. She's pretty. Listen to her.
Fox Nation. I could talk to you about myself for an hour. I have colleagues, so I will share the wealth. Listen, I'm frustrated because I think for quite some time we have felt like there's been more there, and they haven't exactly been forthcoming with all of the details that they have. Tell me where we are in the investigation, and are you satisfied that they're doing all they should be doing right now?
So no one's satisfied because we don't have answers.
Yeah.
Right? If you had answers, you may feel more satisfied. But what are we being told? We're being told, oh, there's these letters. Well, the letters we already knew about. We're just now seeing the actual text of the letters. But we've been told. We were told back in February about both of these letters. We weren't told maybe how specific they were, but we knew that they existed. So the fact that we have Sheriff Nanos going on, and that was our great Mike Ruiz from Fox Digital getting that video with Sheriff Nanos, and he at least answered some questions. But this idea that last week Sheriff Nano said there's mountains of information, mountains of DNA, mountains, and then we find out, well, this hair sample didn't produce any DNA. Well, why does it take 6 months to find out that this hair sample doesn't produce any DNA in an investigation that's this important and getting this much coverage? And then he says, well, we have 10,000 videos that were
Right
stolen.
back to you, heavy
Obviously,
hook.
that's going to take law enforcement a long time. So I'm satisfied that they're working the case, but I'm not satisfied that they're actually getting anywhere.
Donna,
Yes.
what do you think happened?
I think that she was dead in the very few hours. I'm not even so sure she was alive.
Alicia, thank
when they
you
sent
so
that
much.
February 2nd letter.
Moving
To
up
be
in the
fair,
membership.
The fact that they put out the letter on February 2nd, then if you even believe the letters are authentic, right? But if you believe those clues, that if the first letter comes February 2nd, and then they say, we're going to give you 9 days or 7 days or 5 days or whatever it was, and then 4 days later, they send a letter saying she has perished and we didn't mean for it to happen. So the odds are the woman with her condition at her age being terrified and just, the fear she must have felt being pulled out of her home.
And there was blood.
Yes.
And so, the chances of her, even if it were accidental, injured on the way out.
Right, exactly. So I have always felt from the very beginning
Lisa
of this
Smith.
that she was gone.
How are you?
Very early on. And whether or not these letters are legitimate, no one really knows. And no one's really said one way or another. They've not said that they're not, but they've also not confirmed that they have any real information showing that they are, other than the fact that the 2 letters that we're talking about today and the ones that we were talking about yesterday, those 2 letters seem to be coming from the same, at least, IP address.
Why put those out now after all this time? I know that perhaps
Yeah, good evening, Diane. Why, let me switch the camera. Why now? Why, after 6 months, can anybody possibly think of any other reason than Nanos is being told to release those letters from the Attorney General? I've talked about this multiple times. Why now? Why didn't he release those ransom notes after, TMZ released them? And it doesn't make any sense. A couple things here. Number one, the pressure is on Sheriff Nanos. Pretty bad. All the way to the governor. Number two, I personally think there's communication with Savannah's. I believe that Savannah has a private investigator. Okay, I really do. And there's pressure coming down on Nanos, huge. Okay, I'm having a hard time to believe that now, 6 months, this week, unfairness, a couple days before 6 months, and today, 6 months. Can you believe it? And in chat, how many people, we have 269 in here, really thought that this case would go 6 months, would go 3 months, would go 4 months? How many? Particularly after seeing the mask guide and Google and FBI getting all their knowledge, that this would really go 6 months. And now he releases the ransom, and I quote, he says, I need the public's help. Well, you need the public's help? Where was the public's help at 6 months ago? Why did you make arrests on the YouTube streamers? What was that all about? Was that really about Savannah calling up the sheriff's office and saying we have strangers with cell phones taking videos? I don't know. But what I do know is Nanos was scared of something. See, ladies and gentlemen, I think he underestimated the streamers. See, he knew that it was going to have News Nation, Fox, CNN, NBC, and all of them. But he didn't expect, and I'm not going to mention the streamers, we all know who they are, that were out there filming with thousands of people, like 50,000 on one network. We know who he is. Amazing. People from all over, retired law enforcement, doctors, FBI were watching, calling into shows. And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, he makes these arrests. Why? Was he scared? They were coming in and finding out details that he didn't want. Why wasn't that house a crime scene? Why was there multiple people going back and forth? Why was the family allowed to go back in? You're going to hear in about 5 minutes or so. And thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Sal Capone. Your first time here, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. He now says, and I quote, the family they're not suspects. On a couple other interviews, everybody's a suspect. So he goes back and forth. See, folks, I don't think he remembers what the hell he's saying. Seriously. I honestly think that this man that I'm looking at, we're going to look together, is forgetting what the hell he's saying. And for me, there was a great comment on yesterday's live. Why is he talking so much? Well, when somebody tries to explain himself over and over to different networks, not on any big networks, not on News Nation, not on any big YouTube channel, not on Chris McDonough, but on, no disrespect to NBC at all, okay? But he just rambles and rambles. For me, that's a person who's either guilty of something. Now, I'm not saying he's guilty. He's the porch guy. No. In fact, I'm going to go a little farther. I don't believe that porch guy ever went in the house. We're gonna get onto that in a little bit. I don't believe that porch man in the mask with the Walmart backpack and the weapon, he ever made it in the house. In fact, I think that was to throw everybody off, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to continue to say. Once again, welcome in. Let me just check out everything on my side, make a couple changes here. So he continues to ramble and talk because he knows something. But the question I have is what? What is he covering up? What trails and tracks that he's covering up? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't buy that there's no car. I don't buy that there's no DNA back yet. I don't buy that they don't know about the doors being unlocked. The sewers being... There's too many people at that crime scene that could have eliminated, in my view, a lot of the DNA and things that happen. You're telling me that there's no prints, gloves, nothing at all spotted in that house? And he says himself yesterday, real quick, we're going to listen in, that it can go 50 years. Or he's had cases breaking 50 years. Why would he even say 50 years? Why would he bring that up? On his fairness, he didn't say this case would go 50 years, but he did say he had a case that's been solved in 50 years. Now, another thing is, he continues, and I'm telling you right now, I'm 100%, this is a fact. Arizona, particularly Pima County, had a fallout with Kash Patel, President Donald Trump, prior to this. Like a lot of Democrat states do. And I don't want to make it political. It happens on both sides. I've talked about it before. When you have a badge on, you don't even know if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. Your job is to fight the bad guys, bad women who do these crimes. In this case, it could be a combination of a woman and men. But we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to listen in here. 4 days it took to ask for the FBI's help on a kidnapping elderly lady. Not 1 day, not 2 days, but 4 days. All right, so we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to listen to this full interview, and then we're going to break it up, digest it, and then we're going to take call-ins. Now, we do have a number pinned. I thought I pinned it. Let me just see. Yep, the number's pinned there, 702-447-9027. Love to hear from anybody that's on the panel, anybody on the chat. Also, anybody who's a law enforcement, former law enforcement, sheriff, psychiatrist, psychologist, doctor, nurse, CSI, anybody like that to break down this case that's been 6 months. What a damn shame. Why Nancy? Why an 84-year-old woman? Why that house? Why that neighborhood? Take a look and listen.
Let's start by talking about the release of those ransom notes. Why did you and your department, why did you decide to release them now?
Well, I think we all heard from Nancy the other day, and all the investigators agree there is somebody out there who knows something. They know who did this, and the plea is really that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from those who know who did this. We know it could be a family member, it could be
All right, hold on.
a sister, a friend.
Did you hear what he just said? I want everybody, and welcome in everybody. My name is Sal Capano. It could be a family member. All right, now listen in a little bit more. You hear something else he says.
And the neighbor, we just want to hear from you. And I think the notes speak for themselves. There's, as you pointed out at the top of the show here, that there's some language and verbiage there that I think is telling, and there's certainly some concern in what's in there from the investigators. So yeah, it has been 6 months. Although we have a lot of evidence and work in front of us, we still believe somebody out there can help.
Sheriff, you said this could be a friend, a family member. You really, it sounds like, don't really have any particular leads. Do you believe this is someone who knows the Guthries, or somebody else who saw this as a crime of opportunity?
There's been a lot of speculation out there as to the clearing of different individuals.
I agree, Joe.
And this person's a suspect and that person's a suspect. What I would tell you is simply this. Number one, and those individuals where we obtained search warrants on, that was done because we believe there was probable cause to go and look for
Well said, Chris.
those residents. And that probable cause was presented to a court, and the court issued search warrants. We conducted those warrants, and we continue on with our investigative efforts. But what's really troubling to me is we still see some of the white noise out there that's kind of disturbing. The family, I've said this before, and I continue to say it today, the family is not a suspect or suspects.
Okay. Now he changes his script. Okay, and this was literally what? Did anybody keep track of the seconds or minutes? Maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. First, he says family. Then he says no family. You see, I don't know what. Does he sound like somebody? Well, let me be careful. I was going to say some, but I don't want to make this political. He's changing his thoughts. For me, he knows something about Nancy Guthrie, and he's simply, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, turning his head over his shoulder and letting it go. And I don't know yet, but I think we're going to find out. There's no way somebody can change his perspective just in a minute and a half. And how do you personally eliminate the family when you had a family member, a son-in-law, Tommaso, allegedly, who dropped this beautiful woman back to her house, who either went in her home, put her head on that pillow to go to sleep, to wake up and have her morning coffee, take her medication, and go on with her day? Or, ladies and gentlemen, did Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, ever get dropped off? Because we don't have any evidence of that car driving with cameras back in that house. If we did, that would be out there, because that would not hurt the investigation. Do you guys understand? They have a car, they would put it out there. So we're not even sure. So how can you say that the family is dismissed? How? How could you say that? Nancy was last seen with a son-in-law, family. Annie's the wife of Tommaso, sister, sibling of Savannah, Cameron the brother. And also, we have not heard from Cameron, Annie, and Tommaso. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep on saying, it's the obvious. The only reason that they're not coming on It's not because Savannah is on NBC and she's out there for 20 years on the network, or she's just a good talker. It's because they've been lawyered up. It's because they have lawyers. Each and every one of them has lawyers. Now, I don't know why they would cover it up, and that's just where I'm going to go into the chat. Anybody out there want to call in or put in a comment, if it's a cover-up, why? Why would he be covering this up? Is it money? Is it political and politics? What is it? Or it's simply not a cover-up and it's totally something else. I can tell you this. That man in the mask, I'm going to tell you this. If these letters were letters, I don't think they were. There's no way he did the letters. Okay? All right, anybody want to call in? Looks like I got a missed call. Let me see. I thought I had everything hooked up. Once again, I'm Sal Capano. Welcome into the show. We'll be live for the next hour. We got 702-447-9027. If anybody wants to call in and give a perspective, something totally different than a cover-up, stupidity, the perfect crime. What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And $4 million ransom letter. Again, reading my notes. FBI, I quote, told Savannah, please do not pay the ransom note. Why? Because they knew IP address. They knew that there was nothing there. Why pay for something when there's no evidence of a body, A, and B, that there is no leads? That tells us something about the ransom notes. And I'm starting, for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect to Harvey Levin and TMZ, I'm pretty confident they wouldn't lie. I'm pretty confident those letters came in. And we know ratings come into play. But I'm starting to wonder a little bit what's going on with that as well. All right, guys, I'd like to hear from you. And we're going to go back to the video in between. Let me get some water and read some comments here. Carol Harris, welcome in. Trey, welcome in. Inside job, Palon says inside job. Inside job, put a 1. Put a 2, no inside job. What was this? 6 months. August 1st, 2026. It's been 6 months. Have we ever heard? Well, we've heard of crimes like this on Elizabeth Smart go 9 months, right? But there was different situation, right? There was better communication. And by the way, Ed Smart himself was on Brian Hinton. He was investigated from the FBI as a family, and they were wrong. Ed Smart was not. It was a homeless person. But I've never seen a case where the communication from the get-go, from the first hour, forget the first day, was all over the place, and still is. And still is all over the place, just from a minute and a half. Family, not family. Stephen Wilson, welcome in. Someone in the family. Justin, welcome in. It's fishy all over. Trey, they always tell to not to pay the ransom. Thank you for your comment. Amy, and thank you for the membership. Family. Appreciate all of you in the membership and all the green. It really helps the channel out. Most importantly, we can feed homeless. It's very hot, and that's what we do here on this channel. We help out the homeless in Las Vegas. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Heavy hook. Number 1. Cover up. Greg, thank you so much. LA in the house. What do you guys think? Authorities are now releasing ransom notes, Pima County. Are you kidding me? They should have released that on day, as soon as those ransom notes came out publicly. We all know that, right? All right, so while I wait for some calls to come in, everybody shy tonight, call in. Like to hear from you. We'll listen a little bit more of this interview here with NBC.
In this case, they are victims.
Kara, thank you
And
so
I
much
can't
for the donation. Thank
say that
you.
any stronger than that. Some
Thank
people
you.
can say some pretty hurtful things out there, and it's a shame. But I can't stress enough. If you know something, if you have any information, call us. Call the FBI tip line. We need that information.
Okay, so let me ask you again about these two notes. You guys, your office points out some of the word choices are notable and also the shift in tone from the first note to the second note.
Watch
The
his
second one
expressions,
seems
ladies
to
and
have
gentlemen.
some sort of an apology in it. What do you make of that? What does that tell you? And what should we sort of take away from that?
Step into
Whoops.
Hojo, where the whole family is welcome, where the
1
rooms
second.
are vibrant,
Pay some bills.
where free Wi-Fi.
I like you. I read those notes, and it's a little disturbing, and I can't even really put my finger on what exactly about the verbiage, the syntax, the narrative portion of that note. But I'm hopeful that maybe somebody out there who was thinking about, hey, I wonder if this could be my friend, my neighbor, my enemy, somebody. By seeing this and reading it, maybe it will jog something. Maybe it'll make them think about, you know what? I think it is this person. And that's really it. It's just as you read it and see it as somewhat disturbing and in its manner, the tone, maybe somebody else will see that same thing and be able to put it together for us.
Do you think it's possible these could have been written by AI, like ChatGPT or Claude?
Anything is possible. Absolutely. We're not ruling anything out. But the investigators just believe that.
I agree, Lisa.
One, this note was out there. It got out there, the two notes, and we want to be factual with its presence. When we submit it to you, we want you to know that what you see there is actually factual and accurate, and that's key too.
And something else that's in it is that they kind of shift between saying we and me. Do you think this is still one person, or is this that person in that video maybe acted with others?
We look at the videos we submitted to. I think that first week of an individual at the front door. And then I think there's another second video that's a little bit different in his attire. I think the backpack is missing. Could it be more than one? Absolutely. Is it just one at the door? We let you decide. We've not ruled out any possibility in that regard, that one person did this or that this person had help.
6 months now since this abduction. Are law enforcement, is your team any closer to figuring out who that person is in that surveillance video?
I believe we are, and it's only because of the investigative efforts that not just have been ongoing, but continue to go. We have some of the brightest minds in the world on this. Our DNA being analyzed not by our lab or the FBI lab, but by several labs around this country who scientists who know and understand all the ins and outs of DNA. And they work hard every day. They relate with one another. They share information. They're constantly talking with our team. And so those efforts continue. But beyond that, we still have a lot of forensic evidence in terms of the videos and the cameras that we've taken video from and steals from. And
I see you, Tani. Thank you for being here.
If not tens of thousands, as are the leads and tips that still come in. So yes, we believe that this is nowhere near cold. We believe it's a very active case. It just takes.
So this here, guys, that's not a video, right? This is a standstill. Remember, on fairness, the pima FBI said there was a bits and pieces out there that they're just not showing us. This is not a video. See, this is a still photo. We're not even sure. Let me ask you guys. Is it any possibility it's not the same guy? But let's just say for conversation it is. We don't know if that was the same evening on that Saturday that they said. We don't know. There's no other image they're showing us, and they don't have a right to show us. But there might be something that the FBI is still sorting out behind the scenes. Mike, thanks for being here. Or, let me turn the camera around. I'm just going to be the first one to throw this out there because I don't know if I've heard it anywhere, but I'm going to come out and say it. Is the FBI looking at Pima County? Not everybody in the Pima County. Are they looking at the sheriff department? Are they looking at that young detective? Are they watching them? And the mistakes they made from day one. What's your thoughts? Now, anybody wants to call in? I think I see Kara, you were going to call in and give a perspective on tonight's or anything. It's been 6 months. So tonight I'm going to keep it wide open. Anything on the whole 6 months. Thanks for being here, Mike. And what was in his pocket? Because I'm hearing from other streams and networks that he had, it could have been a weapon in there. It could have been his gear. It could have been a backpack in there. And that could have been from a different day. So, as far as the same person, who the hell knows? It's hard to tell. I brought it up. I've highlighted it. Got real close with it. We don't know. It looks like it could be the same person with the mask, but we don't know. The Real Talk, welcome in, says Tommaso was involved. I stand on that. If it's your first time here, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Sal. Last person to see a person alive majority of the time. Hello, this is Sal.
Hi, Sal. This is Cara.
Thank you for that donation, first of all, most importantly.
Oh, you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. Good evening, Victoria. Go ahead.
I'm going to try to give more later. I wonder if the house, if that was staged, and maybe Tommaso never took her home.
The house, Nancy Guthrie's house, was staged. Never got dropped off.
Never got dropped off. Yeah, because where's all the footage? They would have shown the car, like him dropping her off. Never happened. Never seen it. Yeah, and I still think they had something to do with it. My gut keeps telling, they always say.
Amy says very possible. I'm going to ask the chat. Do we think that was staged? We're listening to Kara here, who's on the live stream, of course. Could that have been staged? The house all staged, and she never made it back to the driveway or the front of the house. I very well could be, because there's no footage, like I said 20 minutes ago. That's a great thought.
Yeah.
Heavy Hook says possible.
Yeah. It's possible,
Tiny 1939 says says no. We don't have any footage at all. Think about it. There's no neighbor. Granted, it happened in a dark street. No cameras. We've heard that all this time, and it's true. But we got to go on where the facts. There's no proof. The only proof we have, well, not even proof on that, is the hearsay that the confession of Tommaso and Pima County that Tommaso and Annie, they had dinner and he took her home. Wasn't an Uber driver. Wasn't a bus ride. She didn't walk back. It wasn't us in here, right?
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of people say, in the past, this is like back in February, March, I've heard a lot of people say, well, why would they make her drive, take an Uber when she had her own car? Why? Because it was at night. She was going to be coming home at night. And when my mom, especially my mom, when she was that age, she would not drive at night.
Right.
So why not take an Uber, get over there, and then, they're supposedly supposed to take her home. Maybe they didn't. And then all this other, where they go over to her house, or they get a call from somebody saying that she never made it to church or to her church meeting thingy that she was supposed to be going to.
And hold that thought 1 second. Speaking of church, that was a little bit all over the place too. On Pima County's defense, though, I'm going to defend them. They were going on base what they were told, whether she actually physically went to church, but then we were told that she was online church, that after the pandemic, she just got, with her health, she just did online. So that was kind of misleading too. But yeah, we just don't know. We just don't know. We got to go based on there was no car. We didn't see a photo of Tommaso's car in that driveway or anybody's car, on fairness.
No, it did
So,
not.
and like somebody just said a while ago, is Tommaso's the one that says, I took mom home. I took my mother-in-law home. That was the last time we seen her.
Yep. And, what's his name? What was her name? Smart? Her dad?
Elizabeth Smart, Ed Smart. Ed Smart, yeah.
Ed Smart, yeah. He said when when Elizabeth was missing,
2002.
he told, because his wife started thinking maybe he had something to do with it. And he said, I'll go straight to the police department and you won't see me until they say I have nothing at all to do with it.
Great point. Yeah, they were saying it could have been him or his brother, I believe, in 2002. We're talking about Elizabeth Smart, and that ended up being a great outcome. That's right. So with your point, what you're alluding to is if they have nothing to hide, they would be at that police station saying, hey, lie detector, which supposedly they did on their fairness, but they would go and talk to him and look at him, eye contact. Hey, my wife's my alibi. We were here. We were not. We took her home, and that's it. Yeah, you're right. So something's going on. This is a cover-up. 6 months now, and there's no way possible that somebody randomly picked that house and got away with this.
No. I still say it's them. I do. And if it's not Tommaso or Annie, I will personally call you up and tell everybody I was wrong. And that doesn't happen very often. So.
Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it, at least for now.
Thank you. And thank you. Appreciate it once again for the donation and your support and calling in. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love to talk. All my friends could sit there and vouch for that.
You have a great voice. You should be on YouTube and doing these lives. I mean it. You do a good job. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Chris, for that gift. I seen that gift. Thank yous all for the gifts that are coming in and the donations and the memberships. I so overwhelmed. So thank you. Everyone, please send Sal a cigar. Yes. Send me some cigars. Too hot to smoke cigars tonight. I tried, guys. It's extremely hot here in Las Vegas. We had a record this year, 117. We fight the homeless. So thank you for being here. So what do you think? Was this staged? Kara says possibly. I personally agree that because you got to go base on there's just no cameras. No cameras. All we have is Tommaso taking mom home, taking the mother-in-law home. And going back to Nanos and Fox and News Nation, and you have these retired FBI agents and everybody else on there. Carmen, good to see you. In all their perspective, I like to just keep it simple. Keep it simple. There's no evidence that porch guy or masked man, whatever you choose to call, a bad guy. Let me just say this. Bad guy. There's no evidence that he ever went in that house, whether he went into the front door or the back door. We have evidence of blood. That's the evidence. Heavy Hook, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Hit the like button, folks, to help out the less fortunate. Appreciate it. You just helped out somebody, you and Kara. Thank you. Absolutely appreciate that. Very hot, so that covers some food and some water. We appreciate that, Heavy Hook. Thank you. And good to see you on the live here. A little bit worried. I see you supporting the homeless shorts, and I thank you for it. But yeah, we don't know. We know there's blood. Whoops. What was this? What did I just hit? Uh-oh. Did I hit something? No. Okay. Pickles, welcome in. Pickles says it was planned. It was planned. And if it was planned, Pickles, how long, Pickles, in the chat, was it planned? Was it planned a month ago? Like January? Was it Christmas? Was it planned a year ago, 6 months ago? Who's the ringleader? How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4? The more people you have, the more chances you're going to get caught. Less people, less chances. And if there was 3 people or 2 people, why didn't anybody rat each other out? Well, I came to the conclusion is because there's no cash offer. Nothing's been sold the house. There's no evidence of a safe or money being taken. So if it was 2 people or 3 people, as Kara says 2 to 3 at least, the reason they're not ratting each other out, there's nothing, no conflict. Yes or no? There's no arguments over money. Once there's money involved, then becomes a rat. Just like organized crime. In organized crime, they rat when their back is against the wall and the racketeer comes into play, or it comes with money. There's no money involved in this. If a house gets sold a year from now, 5 years from now, then you will have a rat, assuming there's 2 people. That's why there hasn't been anybody coming out. But something's going to happen. There's going to be a leak in this investigation. And if it's a cover-up, can you imagine? Whoa, what happened? A house? Isaiah, thank you for being here. Hello, guys. I'm praying for my Spokane right now. The city is on fire. 10 houses burned. My deepest prayers. Yes, it's this time of the year. There's fires everywhere. Our prayers with these fires. I believe in Washington and Minnesota, maybe. Welcome in, everybody. Anybody else want to call in and give your perspective? Renee Brown, yes. I'm so ready for them to crack this case and bring some justice to Nancy Memory and her family. But we got Nanos. It just, as this whole day, I was anxious to come on earlier. I said, well, let me wait. Let me just digest it myself. And I'm thinking to myself, like yous all are, why now giving us the ransom notes that we already heard the ransom notes? Why is he on these news outlets? Why hasn't he choose Brian Hinton and News Nation? I'm going to tell you why. Should I tell you? No disrespect to Brian Hinton, and it's not what you're thinking. Brian Hinton's a good reporter. Oh, he's a fantastic reporter. I don't agree on everything he says, but he's good. That's not the reason. Take a guess the real reason why he hasn't been on Fox. Well, in fairness, he hasn't been on CNN either. But why you don't think he's on any of these big platforms? Take a guess why. Who else we have in here? Diane, I don't know if I welcome you in tonight, but good to see you. If Nancy was in the chimney, the smell would lead them to her. Appreciate each and every one of you on here tonight. And happy Saturday night, guys. Can you believe it's August 1st? I mean, 6 months, but not only that, Nancy Guthrie, a beautiful 84-year-old woman who does that. 6 months. Summer's almost over. The heat won't be over here in Vegas. And you'll be kicking off NFL football. The years go by. Why am I saying that? Folks, we need to take 1 hour, 1 day at a time, right? Life is so quick. And I advise everybody to spend time with yourself and your family as much as you possibly can. And then hop on the live YouTube or Facebook, whatever you enjoy, whoever your YouTuber is, and then spend time with a lot of people here. And Belle Rose 6701. Hello, Belle. Good to see you. Anybody new to the channel tonight? Anybody viewing for the first time? If you are, only if you enjoy the notification, or excuse me, enjoy the live, hit all notifications so you don't miss any of the live streams, as we've been covering lots of Pima County, Nancy Guthrie. Man, I didn't think it'd go this long at all. Brandy, welcome. I am good to see you, and welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, Artle. Tiny 1939. This is Artle. Switched names. Artle had Fat Guy, Tiny 1930. Thanks for letting us know, Artle. And thanks, Brandy, for letting us know, and welcome in. Joshua, how are you, Joshua? Great name. Great name. Sir Daniel, how are you? Yep, we know your perspective. Has anybody's perspective changed? It's okay, because it's a very crazy, in so many ways, case. Anybody has changed from the get-go to now? Joyce from Florida. How is Joyce from Florida? Joyce, there's many people on here, I believe, from Florida. Amy says, no, not me. Have you hooked? Nope. Mine hasn't. Carmen says no. Palon says nope. The question, I'll say it again, has anybody thought perhaps the family in the beginning and now no, or thought it was the anything that you thought in the beginning and now changed your mind over the period of 6 months, since it's been 6 months? Mark says no. I mean, I speak for myself. I've been pretty much on the same. Stephen Wilson says, I've always said someone in the family. Pamela says, I have the same perspective all along. No one has changed. Now, anybody want to call in and love to hear your voice, and maybe you want to give a perspective that I haven't heard, and I've heard a lot. Anything. For an example, do you think it's possible the perp or the suspects, plural, came through the back of Nancy's house on that full moon night of February 1st? Just for an example. Could that have been possible since there's no car? Something like that. Something totally different. Could it have been the perfect crime, a perfect robbery? Thank you, Mike. I've heard drug cartel. I've heard a lot of things, but I would love to hear something totally different. Now, we heard from Crystal's not here tonight, but Crystal, a loyal subscriber for 3 years, in her opinion, said she thinks Nancy's alive and is being held in witness protection. Anybody think Nancy could be alive, A, and B, in a witness protection? What do you think? Let's see. Let's see here. This is Sal.
Hello?
Yes, yep. This is Sal, YouTube. Who's this?
This is Tony. How you doing?
How are you? Tommy?
Tony.
Oh, Tony. Hey.
Artle.
Artle. Changing your name on me.
Yeah.
Confusing me. How are you, buddy?
I had to change it. But anyway, we had a 58-year-old lady here
58?
that disappeared like Nancy Monday.
Where's do you
Same
feel
thing.
hold on. You feel comfortable saying where? Where's where?
Hickory, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay, 58 years old, woman. Uh-huh.
And she disappeared Monday. That day, FBI was out, and they went to the flock cameras and already caught. The guy went out of 2 counties over, and they done caught him. And I can't understand why they can't do that with Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, the whole world can't understand it. And how long was she going in North Carolina? How many days?
Since Monday.
Monday. All right. So a week.
Yeah.
And they got the suspect.
They already got him, yep. They found her yesterday, or day before yesterday, and they already caught him.
And it's not like Pima County is like a small, we watch those Netflix movies or Prime videos, those old, no disrespect to either channel, where it's like one sheriff, one deputy, maybe a secretary. It's not one of those old films or newer films. It's Arizona. It's Tucson. So it's not like they have a good staff. You can't blame.
Well,
right?
857 said they have a lot of flock cameras. I just can't understand why they don't go to them.
Yeah, why don't they go to the flop cameras? And they can get me speeding in California, my wife at illegal parking, and a lot of us who and get a ticket in the mail a week later or 2 weeks later, but they can't. If it was a car, assuming it was, when they got off those streets and those back arteries, and they went onto the highway, you're telling me there's no photo?
It makes no sense.
No.
Or it's someone in the neighborhood or someone in the family. That's the one of the three it could be.
Do you think the FBI knows and they're just waiting to piece the evidence together?
Hard telling, but they found the lady here pretty quick, so I can't understand why in 6 months they still ain't found Nancy.
Cover up.
It's gotta be.
I mean, 6 months, no leads, but ransom letters and blood that, according to, I quote, nanos all over the world. We all know that blood's not over the world. Maybe it's a few different states. I'll give them that. But they're not putting that in all over the world labs. I doubt that very much. I could be wrong, but
they need to put more information for the public.
Absolutely. They should let the public know a little bit more.
Like these notes, we already knew about the notes. Maybe not all about the whole thing, but they've already been out.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad they got that. I'm glad they got that woman that was 58 years old in North Carolina, first of all. Me
too. She worked at the store by my house, and my wife visited her every morning.
Hey, Rita.
And it broke my wife's heart.
Oh, wait, they found her. Was she alive? Was she alive?
No.
Oh. But they found out who did it. Our deepest prayers with the family.
Well, I'm glad they found them too.
But your point is, they can do it in North Carolina. They can do it in other parts of the world. It might take a little time, but they can't find Nancy Guthrie 6 months later in Pima County. Doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, 857 put on there about all the flock cameras that was around that area.
Oh,
There's a bunch of them. So I can't understand why they can't go to the flock cameras. They can do it here.
Yeah.
They can do it there.
Yeah. Well, my question is, if it's I'm saying it's a possibility of a cover-up. It acts like a cover-up. It smells like a cover-up. The reason why? Why would they do it? Is it politics, political? Is it money? Somebody up in it? I mean, why would that happen? If it's a cover-up.
There's just so many stories floating out there. Who knows?
Who knows?
Time will tell.
All right, Arnold. Hey, thank you for all your support and changing your names.
Buddy. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, my friend. There you go, Arnold. They found a woman, deceased, but they found her in a week, and they can't find the remains or leads in Pima County for 6 months. Chelsea, how are you? Good to see you. Yes, it does, Heavy Hook. It shows on how competent he is. What do you guys think? I mean, Renee Brown says, nervous nanos. He does seem very, well, I wouldn't say very nervous, but like the hands and everything. I wish somebody would call in tonight or next live or anybody else's live stream, and if somebody can read body language, and I'd like to hear a perspective on that. This is Sal. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Sal here, YouTube.
Sal here, YouTube. This is Scott in Phoenix.
Scott in Phoenix. What part? Are you in that area?
What's that?
You're in Phoenix. We're at in Phoenix.
Oh, North Phoenix.
North Phoenix. What's going on? I mean, anybody in Phoenix, are they still talking about this in that area or no?
Well, we call ourselves YouTube followers. So yes, the wife and I and stuff there, it's popular with us, but not with a lot of people that we know.
Okay. What's on your mind tonight?
But the news, it's been in the news. Well, you were asking about different ideas on there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some new thoughts after this last ransom note came out.
Let's hear them.
Well, I think it's based on Savannah and her career and things that she's in with journalism and her power, her money. I think that the notes are like cryptic messages, okay? And as far as Nancy being gone, I believe that she's in like a witness protection on there, maybe provided by the family. And so Nancy will be gone because she will not be back under Nancy Guthrie, because whatever reason that she needed to disappear, someone's always going to be looking, is my guess, if that's, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's been a couple people who thought, I just said a little while ago, a loyal subscriber who thinks she very well can be in witness protection. Go ahead and continue, though.
And like in the note that says on there that, we can have her back within 12 hours. Well, a private plane can get you like to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly Annie and Tommaso are there maybe too. Well, and it kind of goes in, the reason I'm thinking along the lines is the amount of silence of non-information that is being passed out, because in my estimations of following this since about day 4, I think this is the 3rd time now that they've had these ransom notes out on there. It add a little bit to each one of them, and then Savannah has come back and said some things of her own. But if Nancy's gone, it's the Nancy name is gone. She could be Abigail now or something,
Mm-hmm. Possibility.
Anyway, and the rest of it's kind of hard to say how it was. I also based it on there that the helicopter rescue and the unidentified 84-year-old woman that went to the hospital, you can't find anything out about it because of HIPAA laws. But could all that have been a setup on there? Maybe that's why Mark Kelly might have been involved. Maybe, because I don't know for sure on there. I just hear stuff.
Right. It's okay.
Maybe
It's conversation.
So strings could be pulled on there and stuff there. Then other people will say, well, that's kind of illegal to do whatever. But there's stranger things happen on there that seem to pass and nothing gets done. So we may never know if Nancy's alive, dead, or not. With the name Nancy is dead, she's alive and she's well, and that's why also there doesn't seem to be any kind of urgency with the family in our eyes. What we see from any media that we watch or that we hear about and stuff, or we discuss with you.
Yeah. So witness protection. But my question would be, possible. But what would be the motive? But why? Why would you put in a woman who's 84? Maybe she's going to live another 5 years, 10 years, maybe more. But what would be the reason? We're not talking billions of dollars. We're talking $1 million. I mean, we don't know. What would be the reason? Money? I mean, or protection? Well, you did say the show. So you think maybe they were protecting her? When I say her, Savannah was protecting her mom because she had her on a show, some wacko, crazy people watching?
Yes, sir. I do. That's along the lines of that. That yes, there somehow something was discovered that something was going to happen, maybe retaliatory, based on things that I've heard. I don't follow it real close, but things that I've heard. And yes, so they wanted to protect her and stuff there, and so they kind of made it look like, okay, we kidnapped her first, and who knows what might have happened on there. So she can't be Nancy Guthrie anymore.
Right.
So in those messages of the thing on there that Nancy's passed and all, doesn't mean that it came from an actual kidnapper and stuff. If all this was staged, she could have been out of that house back in January, and that's why there's no DNA traces on there. Okay, the watch at the end of the bed on the floor, little snippets to make it look like, this is what had happened.
A little bit of blood.
Stage that.
A little bit of blood. Bed's messed up a little
Correct.
bit. Pajamas missing.
Yes, and things on there that supposedly only the person that might have been the kidnapper. So it's just another thought is all.
Yeah,
I'm not dead set on anything. I listen to what everybody says. Everybody's got great theories and ideas. It's a mystery. It's one of the stranger stories in the world going on that we've ever heard in our lifetime. And there's things that just don't happen. That's why, like the sheriff, he's not. Everybody's getting on him and stuff there, but he doesn't have a lot to say because there isn't much to say.
Right. Fair point.
And so if you watch his interviews on there, most everything that he answers a question with is a procedural answer on there. What the procedure is that the sheriff's office does, and he dodges the ones that he's supposed to say, like, "Well, I can't talk about that person." But it seems like that's all I hear him do is spewing procedure every time he's getting interviewed. I think that people are catching on to some things on there and stuff, and so they're stirring stuff up again for all of us to discuss and things to think about on there and stuff there, just to keep it active and going on there. And like I said, we may never know if Nancy is alive or not, but I just feel that she is.
So you think it's just a
And
6 month anniversary? 6 month anniversary. He's got to do the right thing, feeling the heat maybe from the governor or the representatives there in that area. Hey, we go out and just touch up on Savannah's and he'll go to sleep for a couple more weeks or a couple more months.
You just never, I mean, I don't know. You never know for sure on there, but I'm always open to anything on there.
No, I appreciate it. That's why
that's
why I asked Colin.
I love your topics.
Thank you.
We love your topics on there. We like you. You're a good guy. We like what you do with the homeless on there. Those are cool videos on there and stuff. And kudos to you and putting on a show. And that's what we do on there. We're YouTube followers.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. I really mean that. Thank you so much for calling in. You have a good voice.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you have a good voice too.
Oh, thank you. We'll call you again sometime with another topic or something comes up. We'll give you another call. I just appreciate the opportunity to say what I was thinking, and it's just another idea out there.
Hey, one more thing real quick in Phoenix. What's the temperature in Phoenix right now?
My backyard's 106.
You made me feel a little bit better. I think I'm a 102. Thank you, Phoenix.
All right, Sal, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. Be safe. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. I mean, anybody else? Witness protection? Is she in Italy protecting her because Savannah perhaps said something in the last 2 years? And when you're online, well, yeah, when you're on live, I mean, we had a couple threats myself and but anyhow, somebody didn't like her, threatened her mother, and we'll take her away, take her out of the country and protect her. Anybody else have a theory on, again, I said this before, is there any possibility they came in through the backyard? And well, that would be a lot of work though, to drag a body unalive through the back of the yard, but it's a possibility, right? Because we don't have any photos or video of a vehicle, truck, motorcycle, or anything else. Anybody else want to call in and give us something? We haven't heard any law enforcement, retired law enforcement, detectives, homicide, Pima County. Maybe you worked for Pima County, something you want to share with, maybe you worked for NANOS, want to be anonymous. I don't know, because something needs to be done. I applaud all YouTubers and streamers all over the world talking about this, because as long as it's being talked, only in my view, it's not a cold case because the name is out there, right? So, was there more of this video? Did I cut it off? Hold on, I thought there was a little bit more of this. There's a little bit while I wait for another call. Let's see. There's a little bit more to this. I think it was like another minute or two. I cut it off. Hold on. All right, let me just go back and play this.
A lot of effort and a lot of energy from not just my team in the FBI, but the labs that work in this, as well as corporate America. I can't stress enough thanks to and gratitude to a lot of the major corporations in this nation who have stepped up and said,
Western Nebraska.
I think this, or hey, maybe we can help you here. And so, again, that gives me a lot of faith, a lot of hope in that you've got the biggest minds out there working on this. I think we're going to get to some resolution here. I just wish I could say it's going to happen tomorrow or next week or time is always part of the equation in this, and it's unfortunate because sometimes we can solve a case within days, but sometimes it does take a lot of time.
Are you hoping that by releasing these notes, you not only will get the public to pay attention, maybe send in more tips, but perhaps sort of get this person or the people who wrote these notes to maybe open up a new line of communication?
Well, that would absolutely. We welcome that too. I mean, look, if you know something, if you're a participant in this, we want to hear from you. We want Nancy back. It's really just that simple. The family wants their mom back. We want her back. And if you know where she is, call us.
I'm going to ask you now, Sheriff, about those claims that were made by the men who were detained. Why did the department feel that those actions were necessary then, and what do you make of their claims now? I mean, you say that they're still not fully ruled out. Is that right?
Nobody's ruled out.
All right, hold on. See, why am I confused? He just says, did he just say nobody's ruled out? But then a few minutes ago, in the interview, I know we've had some calls, and he says the family is not involved. It just doesn't. See, it's almost like he forgets. Let me go back.
Ongoing litigation, but I can say this. Our investigative efforts led us through evidence, tips, whatever it was, to...
I'm going to ask you now, Sheriff, about those claims that were made by the men who were detained. Why did the department feel that those actions were necessary then, and what do you make of their claims now? I mean, you say that they're still not fully ruled out. Is that right?
Nobody's ruled out. What I would tell you is simply this. I can't speak to ongoing litigation, but I can say this. Our investigative efforts led us through evidence, tips, whatever it was, to build a case that said, we think there's something at this residence or with these individuals, and told this to a judge who said, yep, I think you've got enough probable cause. I'm going to give you that warrant, that search warrant. We went, we served the search warrant, we spoke to the individuals involved, and we're keep moving forward with the investigation.
My final thing for you, because through this has come to light that another gentleman was detained who we hadn't known about. This Daniel Maddox man, his mother's also part of these claims. And then Carlos Palazuelos, who is the man from Rio Rico. There's also Luke Daly, who lives near the Guthrie family. How many people have been detained overall over the past several months in connection with this?
Good question.
I really don't know. Those two incidents.
You don't know. He doesn't know. How could you not know? Guys, he doesn't know. Well, let me ask you guys. How many do we know have been detained? That's been live on streamers and Fox and CNN and News Nation. Let's count them. But he doesn't know. And he looks down. He looks down. Whoops, I go back too far. Sorry.
This to a judge who said, yep, I think you've got enough.
Three. Thank you, Heavy Hope.
I'm going to give you that warrant, that search warrant. We went, we served the search warrant.
Aaron Scott, I don't know if I said welcome in. Welcome in, Aaron.
And we're keep moving forward with the investigation.
My final thing for you, because through this has come to light that another gentleman was detained who we hadn't known about. This Daniel Maddox man, his mother's also part of these claims. And then Carlos Palazuelos, who is the man from Rio Rico. There's also Luke Daly, who lives near the Guthrie family. How many people have been detained overall over the past several months in connection with this?
I really don't know. Those two incidents, the one on the north side and the one in Rio.
Okay, folks, it's hard to watch. I mean, and I don't want to hear, well, Sal, I'll say it. He's tired. He's exhausted. He's been on interviews. You know what I say? Get your ass, old school detective. Get your task force. Raise some hell. Talk to the street people. They know. He doesn't even know how many people have been detained. That was a very easy question. I said, good question. That's an easy question. You're the you're the sheriff, Nanos. You're running this case. You're hearing about it every day. You should know. I bet you he knows the score of the Arizona State right before March Madness, or was March Madness. Bet you he knows who won that game. My point is, and he looks away, he looks down, confused. A script, even if it's a script, he just doesn't know. Sue, how are you? Tish, I mean, he looks clueless. Like our last caller said, and many callers have said, we really haven't seen anything like this. Not this bad. All right, we get into some comments here. It's nuts. It's hard to watch. It's a simple question. How many? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're making the arrest. You're going in and making these arrests, and you're getting sued, by the way. By the way, he's getting sued. How do you say that last name, Maribel? Carlos, forgive me for the pronunciation. Palazellos. He's being sued, or excuse me, Carlos is suing Pima County, excuse me, it's getting late, for $2.5 million with an M for wrongful arrest. Does he even, I'm sure he knows the amount of money he's being sued, or they're being sued. It's crazy. That's why my title or my thumbnail says cover up. I mean, is he that damn unorganized? I don't know. Are we all, or not all, are most of us being hard on Nanos? Are most of us being hard on Nanos? Well, welcome in everybody, and happy Saturday, August 1st. We are discussing 6 months of Nancy Guthrie. Most people think it is a family involvement. Some think it's still possibly drug cartel. Some think it's a cover-up. Some think it's something to do with witness protection. Anybody else has anything else that we haven't quite heard, or I haven't heard? Tish. I mean, it's not that hard to answer that question. I mean, you know, Pickle says all of above. I mean, do you guys think the FBI could be looking at Pima County? Yes or no? Put a 1 if you think FBI is now finally, or maybe not finally, are looking at the sheriff department. I think they might be looking. Hey, Chris, welcome in. Josephine, excuse me. Jennifer, how are you? Got a few 1s. Heavy Hook says maybe. I mean, seriously. Is it time behind the scenes? We don't know. We don't know what's going on, Sue. That they're looking closely at Pima County and is thinking, what the hell happened? Why wasn't Cash Patel let in 4 days? What are they doing? They cover up the trails. The question is why? It is a cover up, and most of us are correct. Not all, because there's a 2 in there, to be fair, and maybe I'm sure there's a lot more 2s. If it is a cover up, why? What would be the reason? Is there a politician involved? Law enforcement involved? Somebody in Phoenix or in Arizona connected with this? Or is it even higher than that? What's your thoughts? Because I got to tell you, most of us on here have never seen a broken case. There's no way this was a perfect crime. There's no such thing of a perfect crime. Yes, people can rob a grocery store, go into the supermarket and steal some things, get away. This cannot be. No way to take a woman, not just 84 years old, anybody out of a house, and nobody knows nothing. Neighbors don't know nothing. No cameras, nothing down the street, no grocery store, no pharmacy, nothing at a Home Depot, no receipts at Walmart. Come on. You can't track back. I get it, maybe the first month, maybe 2 months. No whereabouts where that backpack came, online, IP address. But all they have to say now after 6 months, well, we have the ransom notes. You want to hear them? We know the ransom notes. We've heard about the ransom notes. We all know. I'm going to say, if the FBI thought those ransom notes were real, they would have paid out. They were an AI generated, could be part of the whole setup to throw everybody off. Okay? Who would say bury in nature? Be honest with yourself on here. If you would think about it. Put yourself into the crime of, if you watch crime and you think crime, get inside the head of these horrible mental illness, in some cases it's drugs and this and that, and say, would you put a ransom note and say, yeah, where's my pen? I'm going to put in buried in nature. Who does that? Nobody. Nobody. You're not going to apologize. You're not going to write a note. If there is a ransom, you're going to say, hey, you have 4 hours. Here's 4 hours. Here's some proof of your mom. Give me a Bitcoin. And that's that. These people are not nice. They're not going to be nice. They're not going to write an apologetic letter. They're not going to say, hi, Savannah. Oh, hi, Savannah. And they're not going to mention Nancy once in the letter. You think they're going to apologize? No. I want everybody just to digest that for a second. No disrespect to TMZ. I mean, I get it, the ratings, this, that, whatever. Again, the FBI, they thought there was they might have thought they were real in the beginning, first day, first week. But after 48 hours, they know. These guys are smart, the FBI. They're very smart. And in my opinion, these were an AI generated. And they purposely, with all due respect to the interview room, who I love, they have a great show. But he says they misspelled a word. I forget that word. If somebody wants to help me out, we can go ahead and put them on. Let me see if I can find them. But with all due respect to Chris McDonough, he's amazing. Former detective. He does a lot. Very good. Him and his wife, A+. But he says he thinks they were in a rush. They weren't in a rush, folks. That was all meant to be, in my opinion. It was meant to misspell that. To again, to throw everybody off. It was received. Chris, thank you. Chris talks the truth. Chris, you're another one. You have a great voice. It was received. Yes, they spelled that. Sorry, I lost my track. Thanks for being here, Chris. Received. That's right. Thank you, Chris. So, in my opinion, they misspelled it purposely. Yes or no? They weren't. I know what he's saying. He has the experience. I don't. And you get in a hurry, you misspell. But no, that was just to throw off the case. And it worked. It worked. Because it certainly threw Pima County off. All planned. Texas, welcome in, says it was all planned out some way, somehow. Yeah, but, man. But then again, you have to say, well, how many people are involved? How many people cover this up? If it was a cover-up. Once again, the lines are open. If anybody wants to call in, we just watched the 2 interviews. Yes, Chris NANOS, speaking to him on the interview room, did a great job as far as going on News Nation, and he always does, and I'm not at all means calling him out at all, but I just disagree that the people who possibly did this were in a rush. All right, I'm going to read some more comments. Greg says, inside job. David, always good to see you, and thank you for your support, David. It's not unnoticed. Too many people are covering something up, Kara says, yes. Let me go back to your comment, Sue. Sue, hold on, Sue. Sal, one of the other accommodators said that the person writing the ransom notes said they could have used a translator to write the, yeah, I've heard that too. That's possible. I mean, it's possible. All that's possible. But again, why didn't they send the money? And you're telling me, with all our technology, we can't track down that IP address? Come on, folks. I remember a couple years ago, a hacker, it was not a Bitcoin. Was it a Bitcoin? I think it was a Bitcoin. I'm not making this up. And I forget how many years ago. Maybe 3-4 years ago. It was maybe 5. And apparently the guy forgot his password. Okay? And he hired a hacker. Do you guys, anybody remember hearing that? And they got it on the 3rd or 4th try. So with all our technology, if this was the people who did this crime and ransom notes, they would have had them by now. Trust me, okay? J-Lo, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Thank you. Very, very nice of you. High five, fist bump. Thank you guys for being here on this Saturday night. 6 months, August 1st. Can you believe August 1st? Evie Hook, thank you so much. Time goes by, you know, we all were glued to this on February. Some of us were watching in our bed. Some of us were waking up, having a coffee. We start gluing in. We start listening. We've seen the streamers out there. We start watching News Nation, Brian Hinton. A lot of us on here, I know myself, when we got the mask guy and they got Carlos, we all thought, wow, this case is this is good, right? And now look, here it is. August, hot months in through the states, particularly in Vegas, very hot, Phoenix, Tucson, and remains of Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, are there somewhere, at least I think very close in that area. Was this the perfect crime, ladies and gentlemen, or was this the perfect cover-up? And I'll follow up with this question. If it was a cover-up, why and who's involved? Who's involved? Tiny was in Ohio when this came out. Never thought it would be this long with nothing. 5 months, Heavy Hook. Thank you. Wow. See, talk about going fast. 5 months, Heavy Hook. So time goes by. What's that got to mean? Well, not just in this case, guys. Time is short. So enjoy yourself when you can. Thank you, Heavy Hook. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a good comment, though. Let me just read it again, if you don't mind. It's just like we thought we had some leads by now. Once again, the lines are open, 702-447-9027. If there's anything you want to add to what we talked about tonight as far as a cover-up, do you agree, disagree? Is there anything we haven't heard of? Did they do it on foot? We talked about, for the last hour and a half, I talked about, I don't even think Tommaso drove Nancy home. Okay? There's no proof of him even driving his vehicle back 3-5 miles back to her home. There's still no proof of the perp, the masked man, Walmart bag, ever going into the home through the front door, back door. There's no proof because there's no video. And I'm assuming if the FBI did have that, I don't think the FBI has that either. I think the only thing that the FBI might have is possible that still photo of the masked man. We'll go back to it in a minute. And that maybe they might have a little bit of movement to the right, to the left. Or they have a lot more. But if they had a lot more, I think we would have had an arrest by now. Yes or no? I think if the FBI had a lot more, I think by now in 6 months, there'd be somebody in custody. Very well. So they might have this much more that we haven't seen, maybe even this much more, but they don't have this much more. They don't have somebody going in through one of the windows or anything, or the doors. We got to go based on what we know, what they've told us. And I agree with Ardell. I agree with a lot of you. There should have been, we don't deserve anything, but the public they should have talked about this at least 2 more times in 6 months, maybe 3. They don't have to give us everything, but they give us something, so sometimes the public can help in these circumstances. I mean, what else you have to lose right now in 6 months? What else? Carol, welcome in. Not enough to make the arrest. So, Carol, you think it's like in the oven, so to speak? It's there, but they just don't have that slam dunk. Yeah, I remember they were on the roof. They were on the roof. They were in the sewerage. Sharon says, I heard they have a lot of DNA. Well, if they have it all over the world, or other countries, according to Sheriff Nanos. Let's see what. Anybody else want to call in? I'm going to look up something real quick, guys. No, there was no cameras on the roof that we know of, that we've heard. We don't, It don't make sense how they would scatter DNA over the states unless they're trying to break it all down, and I'm still trying to digest that from Sheriff Nanos. But they did go back to that sewerage, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they go back? I think JLR talked about it. They went back to the sewerage a second time, maybe a third time.
Possessing this much fentanyl used to be prosecuted as drug trafficking. Then Aaron Ford lobbied to
Breaking news in the mystery disappearance of...
What is Meow Wolf?
Something I was looking for. I don't know if I found it. I might have found it. Let me see.
Off of work right now for the Today Show.
This school goes on a field trip every day. But why?
Because this is crazy that millions into it. So it makes you wonder, was somebody using Chat GPT to write these?
Horses.
What is Meow Wolf?
It feels like walking into a feeling.
You're here to explore.
They opened the sewerage again, did they? Recently, like in the last 2 days, 3 days?
At least visibly on the other side of the border looking for Nancy Guthrie.
It didn't appear that way, but the whole back.
Does anybody on here still think that they crossed the border? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's a possibility to drive 30, 40 minutes, I guess, with some traffic to go to the border and, and then remove the remains and bury parts of the body in the Mexico border. Anybody? I mean, I've talked about this several times. It's a risk. It's a risk. It's more of a risk to drive, whether it's 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, to drive with the body in the car, stay calm, think about it, and then go through the border, and then assuming she was unalive, I believe she was already unalive, and then deliver her, and then remain her remains out in the desert. Now, I gotta understand something, guys. Let's just say it's 30 minutes with no traffic in the morning. That's 30 minutes, right? That's a risk. Now you got to go out to the desert. You can't go like miles out in the desert because it's a risk. So you got to go, 100 feet, shovels, and do all that. Well, if that's true, then you certainly got to have another person to watch, right? For me, it could be. It's a huge risk. It's too much of a risk. And then I don't want to get too graphic, but you would have to, the arm, the leg, and all that. I just think it's too much of a risk to take that drive. I know it's close. I don't know. Andrew, how are you? This was law crime. Hold on. I thought
Back in Tucson, part of it. I mean, that could be Mexico. It could be another city.
They're talking about
in
Mexico.
Arizona. We simply don't know. But I think the USD part of this is a very big clue. That is not the way that Americans write and talk about currency. Nobody talks like that. So it could be somebody in Mexico. Again, these could be fake, but it could be somebody in Mexico, and the tones are very different. So they're hoping that somebody who knows something sees these notes and says, I know somebody who talks like that. This looks familiar. So I think that this could be them really trying to cast their line and see if anybody bites on this.
And the other part of this press release that's making headlines right now
Here's
are
another thing, guys.
the videos and the images.
Another thing I want to discuss, I should have brought it up earlier, is I want to discuss this. You're telling me it's been 6 months today that no family member, no ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-boyfriend, former teacher, streets, know those eyes, know that walk. You would think by now somebody would know something. That's another reason I'm leaning towards a huge cover-up. Whether that cover-up is with Pima County, in the family, the representatives, all the way to the governor of Arizona. I'm just saying that you're telling me there's no way nobody can recognize that person in 6 months. I can get 1 month. I would understand 2 months, but nobody, with our giant TVs that we have and our beautiful phones and our cameras, I mean, everybody has, and not recognize. I would say this: if somebody's watching this live stream, there's not a whole lot on tonight, but on any stream, do the right thing. If that's somebody you maybe went to school with or worked with or you dated, please do the right thing. Call the FBI. You notice I said call the FBI because I'm not so sure I trust Pima County. I don't know. You would think by 6 months. Steve says Sal did it. Now, Steve, I was in bed that night. Somebody call FBI. Mark Kelly. Marissa, welcome in. Don't trust them. The sheriff. Yeah, anybody want to call in? It's Saturday night, guys. I'm up. 6 months. 84-year-old woman. Nancy Guthrie. Daughter of Savannah Guthrie. Is she in witness protection? Is she in Mexico? Is she alive? Was this a cover-up? And why was it a cover-up? Or was this just laziness, unorganized? I don't buy it. Sorry. No leads other than everything most of us know already on the ransom notes. Sorry, can't buy it. Call in, Heavy Hook. You need help?
It's okay, you can with your arm.
I can do it.
No.
Carol, read Carol's comment real quick. I can't go back. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube. I try to go back and read these comments and I can't. Oh, here we go. They say when the cops won't let FBI in, they are involved allegedly. Yeah, Carol, great comment. So I did talk to a September 10th. Yeah, I think so. I think so, Chris. I think September 10th. I think actually before that, things could lead one way or another. We should know more. You would hope. Assuming they get him, there's assuming that Derek gets clean and off his addiction of his choice, right? I was going to say, as I talked to some former FBI friends that I smoked cigar with, and he did say, I said, you see some bad cops? And he says, hey, he looks at me, yes. I said, you see some crooked FBI? He goes, yes. So it's possible. He goes, yes. I mean, it's possible. But yeah, before September 10th, that's a big day. There could be some sentence there, or it could be somebody ratting somebody out. Then again, if he does talk, do you believe him? Even if he is clean. And we're referring to Derek, I call him Galea. But yeah, September 10th. So he might want to save his ass because, see, folks, everybody got confused because he got 5 years probation. There's no guarantee that he can get 2 years. What he did was a threat to the family, right? With the Bitcoin. So he could get, he can even get more. So that might be a way for them to say, okay, you want this to go easy or you want it to go hard? You're clean now. We got you clean. Who did this? Who approached you? Who approached you? And he might say, not saying. Or he can say, I did it. I needed money. And then we got to go back. I don't know what they can do on that case. That might be a dead end. So September 10th could be a dead end, or it could mean something. We will see. We'll have to wait and see. Craziness in 6 months. Can anybody believe that 6 months nothing but some ransom notes that are probably not even real, generated by AI, in my opinion. Chris Green, 15 months membership. Thank you. Wow. 15 months. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate everything you do. Thank you for helping out and helping out the homeless. Time flies. Yes, it does. It's crazy. I see somebody memberships, 15, 8 months, 20. We had Fabian, 23 months. Mike, 24 months. Crystal, 23, 22 months. It's not unnoticed, guys. Thank you so much. I agree, Chris. Talks the truth. What do you think, Chris? What's on your mind? Have you changed your perspective? Has anybody changed your thoughts from the very first day you were glued to this horrific kidnapping? Have you changed several times, stuck to what you think? What we're hearing now with ransom notes, again, my perspective, I think they're fake AI for the reasons the FBI never suggested to pay out the money and no photos. But has anybody changed their mind? And is there anything out there we haven't heard? I've heard a lot. We've heard cover up, cartel. Chris, thank you so much for the membership and that donation. Appreciate that so much. Thank you, Chris. You rock. We've heard witness protection. Natalie Hopkins, hello. Witness protection. We don't know about a vehicle. We hear about a red car, but there's no red car. We don't. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me call myself out. We don't know. We just don't know. There's no video of a red car. We don't have a video of a motorcycle, a truck. Did the perp, the masked man, whatever you want to call him, ever go into the house? We don't have no evidence. For those who are coming in now late, we're discussing 6 months now of this crime, and it's just, is it the perfect crime? Is there such thing of a perfect crime? I'm asking you guys, is that a possibility? Were they lucky? Was it that clean and organized and thought out to get away with it for 1 month, 4 months, 6 months? Tomorrow will be 6 months in a day. Could that be possible? To study all that? That there was no lights? I mean, I have a hard time believing that. Do you guys? I have a very difficult time thinking about a perfect crime back in February 1st. I just can't buy it. I think the porch man was set up. Yes, Carol, I think so too. I think he was approached by somebody, was paid off a good amount of money, don't know how much, and we're not even sure when that video was even of the porch man. Some are saying 2 weeks. That's been all botched all over the place as well. Sharon says whoever did it will be caught. Palon said cold case now. No date on the video. Exactly, Carol. We're going by, there's no date. That could have been the night before. It could have been a week before. The two photos of them by themselves could be different. I don't think they're different, but different times. Excuse me. Anybody want to call in and give us something we haven't heard? Something I haven't heard or anybody has heard? Yeah, I wanted to just bring this up real quick. Is the AC on, Maribel? It's hot.
We're only at 13 outside.
It's hot in Vegas, folks.
113 or 120.
Very, very hot. So, this is what I was talking about. See this here? Is this the same person? A, and B, if it is the same person, was this taken the same day from Google? It's so difficult to see. Natalie Hopkins says yes. Yes, it's the same person, Natalie. Kara says it's the same person. And if it's the same person and different dates, is that because they were just sketching the house, trying to make sure Nancy was there? Making sure 100% there was no cameras? Were they set up? Who told them to do this? Who told this guy, assuming it's the same person, in the chat, who do you think organized this? Or is it possible I know we lost the connection there for about 30 seconds. I apologize. But Cox Internet sucks. And if it is the same person, who is the ringleader? Tommaso, allegedly? Is it Annie? Is it someone else? Is it Nanos? Who set this up? Or did this man here possibly set him up? He got away with this all by himself. All right? He got dropped off, or he walked. He walked. He walked about 10 miles. Come on, folks. We got to really think about this. This guy, this man, 5'9", 5'10", forget his height. There's no way possible, in my opinion, he did this by himself. And there's no proof that he went in the house. No proof. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. There's no proof he did any harm. There's no proof he took her. And where's the vehicle? We see lights. Everybody wants to see lights. I think it's a reflection. I think it's just a reflection from... I mean, it's a full moon, but that light there was just a reflection from the camera. I think if it was daylight, you wouldn't even see that light in the background. I think sometimes we just we can't blame ourselves, but our minds just go because it's all we have. It's all we can see. Why was that back door open, David? You're right. David, thank you for reminding me. Exactly, a great point. Great point. Did he even go in the house? Did she even get back? Did Nancy ever even make it back in her home? In the chat, yes or no? Did Nancy Guthrie ever get back after leaving and going to have her last dinner with her daughter and son-in-law? Did she even make it back in bed that night? Because we have no proof of that as well. And then I did this, guys, for you. We'll look at this in a second. Oh, shit. I lost it. Gosh darn it. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, I got it back. All right. I think somebody set this up, and I won't say any names, but I will say Tommaso played a big part. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. Chris talks the truth. I think a lot of us are on that same page. Chris talks the truth. I think a lot of us, I mean, it just looks obvious for what we have and what we can possibly see right now. Not for kids, thank you so much. Same shoes. What was that? Same shoes on each foot? Whiskey Tango's in the house. Whiskey, you here? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love the tie. Thank you. So, where we're at in 6 months. Are we sick of the war in Iran? Welcome in, Chucky. Welcome in, everybody. Will we get a break in this case now? Is this just 6 months of Nanos being called out by representatives, the governor, AG, or he just has to do the right thing? He feels he better do the right thing. Is Savannah talking to Nanos? Is she talking to the FBI? Is it possible she has a private investigator that we don't know? These are unsolved. We just don't know. But what we do know is we have a Nanos who all of a sudden has been on talk shows, most recently today. We don't know when they were taped, maybe a couple of days ago. And what we do know is there's a woman's remains out there somewhere in that area in Mexico or somewhere. And what we do know is, according to Nanos, the DNA is being tested all over the world. All over the world. And we know it's perfectly clear that it's political, it's politics, it's a shame. It shouldn't be that way. We see it on both sides. They've been known in Arizona not to like the president, not to really care about Kash Patel. And I think that plays a little part. And that's what we have on 6 months, August 1st, 2026. Abduction, kidnap took place February. Or is it just possible that we have a sheriff who just was ready to retire and stepped foot in a crime scene, who made it very political and effed up in so many ways? And that's why he's talking so much, because I don't even think he remembers what he says from one sentence to the other. It's that sad and unorganized. What do you think? Sheriff involved or sheriff just stupid? Are they all in bed with each other? Who's going to take the rap? Well, I can tell you this. The Attorney General is not going to take the rap. The governor is not going to take it. They're going to come down on Nanos. Nanos is going to take the heat. Who in here would love to see Nanos fired? Like tomorrow. Fired. Get the hell out of here. Who would love to see that? Can you imagine the streamers, the news outlets, Nanos fired, headlines, breaking news. Sheriff Christopher Nanos, 70 years old, I don't know his age, I forget, fired. And if he does get fired, will we ever hear why? Or would it just be fired for making something up? Because, you know, if they did fire him, would they even come out and say why they fired him? Again, we're just having a conversation. I don't want to confuse everybody. Maybe you guys are popping in and out. You think Nanos has dementia? But you imagine we turn our TVs on tomorrow, our phones on, our laptops, our iPads, whatever you're on the most, and say, breaking news, Sheriff Nanos is fired. And then, fired for what? What would they make up? Would we ever know? Would they just fire him on his past? No. They would have to fire him on his present, I would assume. Fire him for gambling, making some up. I'm only hearing it as gambling on it's okay to gamble, but gambling on the clock, drinking. Let's see what else we have. Felony, stupid. AM, welcome in. Hold on, let me read that comment. Did Nancy have political enemies? I don't know. Maybe. Did she speak up about the wrong thing? Whoa. Let me read that comment again. Did Nancy have a political enemies? And if so, did she speak up about the wrong thing? It's a possibility. See, that's the stuff I like. Well, I like to hear. That's a possibility. That's a really good possibility. You know, right now it's not like it was with politics when I grew up in the 70s and 80s. You say the wrong thing to the wrong person, I mean, my life, my wife's behind me. We were threatened. My wife was threatened. Because we talked about Trump and what we thought. And I even call President Trump out time to time. But yeah, that's a possibility. AM. You got a lot of crazy people. You got a lot of great people online. And then you have people disagree. Just because people disagree doesn't mean they're going to harm anybody. Then you have just crazy people doesn't mean they're going to go out and do this either, right? But yeah, we were threatened. Or breaking news, Nancy has been found. You know, that would be news that we all need, Ardo. That would be great news. Breaking news. Nancy Guthrie, has been found. Yeah, we were threatened because of, I got on a roll one night and, you know, on something I agreed with President Trump and backed him up 100%. It was with the riots, and we got multiple calls. Calls are one thing. Disagreeing is another. Saying the F word or whatever, disagreeing is fine, but when you start threatening, I have a problem with. So yes, it could be that Nancy could have said something politically that somebody didn't like, and it just went wrong. Someone in her Facebook would know, but they took it down. Yes. Yeah, they took it down. You would think somebody from her church, Marissa, and thanks for being here, would also know something, right? I'm sure she had some of the church people, maybe one or two that she, you know, we're always, people are always close to some people. Misfit, welcome in. And thank you for the comment. I think so. Renee Carr, welcome in. Church tomorrow, Central Church, if anyone would like to attend in Henderson, 9:45 to 11 a.m. God bless. Well, thank you, Renee Carr from Vegas. We'll keep that in mind, 9:45 to 11 a.m. God bless all tonight. Church day tomorrow, speaking of church. I'm still thinking about that, though. That's another... Anything else, guys, that we haven't, or somebody wants to maybe call in or put in the comment? The line's definitely open tonight. Any former law enforcement or law enforcement RS, thank you. Appreciate the donations and gifts tonight, guys, and the memberships. We really appreciate it on behalf of me and my wife to help out the struggling homeless here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Anybody want to call in and give us something we haven't heard about the perp, 6 months, setup, cover up, politics? Did the FBI mess up? Because I've called the FBI out on this case too. On fairness, they didn't get the okay to come in 4 days. But I've also said I would expect more from the FBI as well. So I'm not afraid to call it. It's not a game. And I think both Cash Patel and Nanos need to stop it and just find Nancy's remains. David says, son-in-law, Sal, final thoughts. Thank you, Carmen. And thank you, Heavy Hook, for the gifts tonight. Not on notice. David says, son-in-law, final thoughts. So, real quickly, guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes. If it was the son-in-law, could it be possible for the wife not to know? They sleep in the same room, the same bed, unless they have separate rooms. Is that possible? I don't know how long they've been married, but assuming 20 years maybe. Is it possible, if it is Tommaso, that Annie never knew? Or just allegedly? He can be completely innocent. Because Nanos says nobody's ruled out, but then he says the family is ruled out. It's like he was talking in circles earlier. One conversation, he ruled the family out, and then he says everybody's a suspect. Or it didn't make sense. Carol says yes, Annie knew allegedly. I mean, think about it. If not just this couple, we've heard about couples being involved, or one couple, or one husband, or one wife, or one partner. It's almost impossible for them not to know, right? We're talking about a homicide. How could they possibly not know? All right, we're going to take this. Hello, Sal. Hello.
Hey, Sal.
Hey. Who's this?
It's Ricky Dingle.
How are you?
I'm good. I am a little behind, though, on kind of what's going on with Nancy. The last I got was a hair was found. Did it say where that hair was found at?
Inside the house.
It was inside the house. Well,
but we don't. But nothing. It came
Okay.
back. It came back. Nothing. I mean, it was as far as today, August 1st.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm, like I said, hold on, I'm not hearing what I gotta switch over off the earpiece here and onto the phone so I can hear better.
Take your time.
And my dog is
Take your time.
not well, so.
Oh, take your time.
No, with the sheriff.
Dan.
He's a sheriff. Here's the thing. Everyone's like, okay, the sheriff. Why isn't he doing anything? A sheriff at the top, his position is not really boots on the ground all the time. He's the head of the department.
Right.
He's supposed to be dictating what's happened and, saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, do that. Whether he's doing that or not, I don't know. But he's not a good front for that department. He doesn't give off the feeling of we're getting the job done.
Right.
He's very wishy-washy. I've said this from the get-go. He gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Now, just to follow up with the hair, I agree on that. Marissa just says, I think the hair was sent out again to other labs. I thought I heard that earlier today too. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you say, but he has a task force. You have a task force for narcotics. You have a task force for missing people in this case. You have a task force for sex trafficking, say on and on and on. And it seems like, as Chris, I like to use and steal his words, Chris McDonough from the interview room, shake the trees, get these people out there. Now, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but according to the streamers when they were out there, we didn't see any of that, right?
No, not really. I mean, I saw a lot of, like, I was watching, because I came home at like 3 in the morning or something, and I flipped on the TV, because I flip onto YouTube and do live feeds, and I was watching some of them, but there was a YouTuber out there, and then there was the live news that was going on too, and I was watching, there was a lot of activity, but then it just kind of went down to nothing, and then the scene wasn't being preserved, and I saw all that. And that was all happening live, so I know what I was seeing. And so everyone says, where were the dogs? Well, there were dogs there. I watched them live. There were dogs there. But it was because I can't remember, was it like 2 or 3 in the morning they say she was taken or something like that?
Yeah, and there was...
I can't remember the time.
And it was about that time, 2 o'clock. But there was dogs there, you're correct, but not like a large amount of hound dogs. Certainly...
No, there was only one dog that I saw.
Right.
And I don't remember which feed I was watching, because I'll have one feed on the TV and one on the phone, and it's just what I do when I get home, because I have nothing better to do. But yeah, I can get why I don't know, but yeah, but him now all of a sudden talking a lot about it again after so much quiet, no. He doesn't inspire any trust or anything. I don't trust him at all.
Think he'll be fired?
What's that?
You think Sheriff Nanos will be fired?
Oh, God, yeah.
You think he'll be fired?
Yeah.
Don't make something up. Don't throw something at him.
Not fired, but he'll be removed.
Drinking on the job.
I don't
gamble on the job.
I don't think they can. Yeah, I don't think they can technically fire him. They have to remove him in a certain way because he's an elected official. So they have to remove him in a certain way, and that's dependent on state.
I think so too. I think he's going to be fired sooner than later.
Yeah, I think he's not gonna be an
Gamble on,
office
don't make
next
something
term,
else
whatever
because
that is.
they're not going to take the heat. There's no way possible the AG, the Attorney General, is going to take the heat, or anybody representatives in that area. They're not going to fall for this piece of crap. They're going to say goodbye. Yeah, that's it. I don't care how much they were in bed together. Enough's enough. I agree with you.
Yeah, and even if he's not involved, he's still just stupid. I mean, this has got national coverage. It's been from day one. And that's something you really should have been stepping up for.
Either you're stupid or you're stupid or you're involved. Either way, you got to go. That's the saying I have.
I said it in the chat. I don't think he's smart enough to be involved.
Wow, I missed that. I'm sorry. I like that. Did you hear that, guys?
I don't.
I like that. I don't think he's smart enough to be involved. Whoa, I like that.
I just think he's not capable of that job. There are some really good sheriffs I've seen out in Arizona. One's retired now, Sheriff Lamb. Loved him. I watch their channel all the time. And there's some really good sheriffs that have been around.
Heavy Hook agrees with you, by the way. He said, I agree with the caller.
Hey, Heavy.
Heavy Hook says, yeah. Well. So what else is going on? Anything else you want to add? You think it's we don't have any cars. Is it a possibility somebody came through the backyard? They took her from the backyard?
Yeah, that was something else that I didn't think about, that the guy that was in the front, because he definitely he was a dum-dum. So with what his body went, that was dum-dum moves, but I didn't think that he could have just been a decoy for the camera and someone coming. I didn't think about that. So whoever brought that up, good on you, because I'm in really late tonight. I didn't even realize you were on. But I didn't think about that. And that would make more sense, because
to throw everything off. I mean, it was too obvious, moving around, getting the plants. I mean, I still can't get over how somebody would grab plants.
Yeah, that didn't. I mean, the very first night we saw those videos, I remember we were all in a group talking about it. I'm like, what idiot does this? He's grabbing plants.
Chris,
what are you doing?
Let me read Chris's comment. Chris has got some great perspective. Chris, if I can go back to it, everything's sticking. Yep. Hold on one second. Yeah, but who does that? Who would go grab plants and do something like that? Let me see here. Chris says the only way Nanos is out, or going back to Nanos, if the Attorney General charges him with perjury, or else Nancy's case won't be solved. That was from Chris.
Perjury of what, though? Unless I must have missed something. What perjury of what?
Yeah, perjury.
Where did he lie?
We'll wait for the comment.
Because I don't know. I miss a lot. Perjury of what? Because I don't know.
And Marissa says so he can eventually retire with severance at the age of 70 years old. Just read it.
That's not perjury, though.
Gambling
perjury would be him having lied about something.
He's 70 right now. I'm just reading some comments as we're.
I can't read them when I'm on the phone.
Yeah. The only how you can do that is if you're.
He's have to have lied about something.
Yeah.
It's not that it doesn't seem like he's lied about it. And like I said, I'm several days behind now because my work's been nuts. And I don't know if you can hear my dog is very sick right now.
He's
going on his way out.
Oh, God.
We have heavy fires here. And because of the fires, he can't breathe well, and I'm having to give him inhalers and everything. But this is my 23-year-old guy. He's sitting here. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear him.
Oh, here you go. Chris says, yeah, our prayers are with you. That's tough. I know. I'm going through it with Max. But now he seems like he's doing a little bit better. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back to Chris. My chat is sticking here. Chris says he lied when he was told to provide answers about the investigations when he got the job and his prior display, because he has that, a racketeer. If you watch the interview room with Chris McDonald, his wife was a retired journalist, so that's how the perjury would come involved.
Oh, okay.
Now you got it.
So, I know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything
Sorry.
about that part,
I'm reading comments, talking to you about it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
But thank you.
Chris. And as Carol says, he lied on his resume as well. So he's lied. He had 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. So that would be the way.
So okay.
Yeah.
So that's a way they could get him out.
That'd be a
something
way.
like that.
Right.
I don't know about it. So.
And Texas is saying sorry about your dog. By the way, off topic. They're just sorry to hear about your dog. He lost 2 dogs. This is Texas in the house. Yeah. They break your heart. We love our pets, but it's sad when they pass away.
You're complaining. Now I see why he's spinning with trickles, because he's drank all his water gone. He's diabetic too. 23, deaf, blind, diabetic.
How old?
Has the doggy dementia. 23 years old.
Oh, wow. 23 years old. That's amazing.
Yeah, I lost about 3.5, 4 months ago, I lost my 21-year-old. He passed away, and this guy's...
We love our pets. I mean, let me make it clear in the chat, guys. We're off topic a little bit, but they're not humans. We get it. I lost my mom. We lose loved ones all the time. But, man, our pets, man, I can't function. I couldn't even do a live, when our dog died. It's tough. Anything else you want to add, though? Yeah, our prayers are with you. I mean, anything else you want to add? I mean, think this is going to be? Think it's going to be solved? Do you think this is going to be solved in the next 6 months?
Unfortunately, I still kind of, even with everything that's, not that there's been much that has come to light, even with everything, still kind of am seeing it the same way. They took her because of her ill health. She perished very soon after she was taken, or if not at the time, and that's why it didn't go the way it was planned.
Right.
I do think she was targeted because of Savannah, unfortunately, and it's not Savannah's fault at any.
No,
just because of her job, because that's just wrong. If they do solve it, they're going to end up finding her remains somewhere. Because at this point, she's gone without medical attention, especially being that elderly. It doesn't look good. And if she is found alive and well, that brings a whole nother beast. Because that goes into, this was someone that is definitely premeditated, and this was definitely an inside job. If she's alive.
I agree with that statement. I do.
Because there's no way you could take her without knowing medical history and stuff like that and keep someone who has that much health problems alive and not know what they were to begin with.
Well, you take care, and you our prayers are with you to be strong there with your dog.
Yeah, he said that noise. I don't know if it can be heard, but that coughing is him in the background. And I got to give him some more of his inhaler here.
Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. Some good perspective.
No problem.
Have a great night.
Hope all is well. I'll talk to you later. I'll be back in the comments here in a second.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We love our dogs. Yeah, it's the more we all observe this 6 months, and that's why, again, I had another topic planned for tonight, but, I said 6 months. Where's Nancy? Why Nancy? Cover up, no cover up, regardless. Find the people who did it. Get to work, Cash Patel. Get to work, Nano. Stop making it politics. Justice for the family. And I'm thinking that something will break as Chris talks the truth probably sooner than later around that September. So hopefully we'll get more information. Maybe, just maybe, I'm being positive, all this is coming out because something is developing. Just a thought. All right, I'm going to close the phone lines, and I think I'm going to close the chat room. But I also like to give a little courtesy and give a 2-minute warning for those who are talking back and forth to say their goodnights. We should be back on at some point tomorrow. I do like to cover other things, but I thought it was nice to keep Nancy's thoughts, and we're going to continue to keep our prayers and justice for Nancy. I want to say thank you for all the members. Susu, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Loyal subscriber there. Thank you. Speaking of loyal subscribers, thank you for those who were able to participate in the donations. Once again, 100% of our proceeds will help out the homeless in Las Vegas, unless somebody says to go get a cigar. I thank you so much, guys. Make sure you support the other streamers out there that are working hard, and if you enjoy their content as well as ours, so we can continue the live streams, hit the like once in a while, and leave a comment every now and then. I might see you guys in other stream rooms either tonight if there's none on, or tomorrow. But I'm winding down, guys. I'm getting a little tired. But thank you so very much. May God bless each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your Saturday and a great Sunday. Justice for Nancy. Until then, see you on the next. Bye-bye.